الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والذين جاهدوا فينا لنهدينهم سبلنا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح. Allah Ta'ala has given us many blessings, and out of those blessings that Allah Ta'ala has given to us, there are three blessings that are sort of part of the human. One is aql, intellect. The second is the heart, qalb. And the third is the nafs. Aql helps us in reflection, in understanding, in getting to know about Shariat, Sunnat. So all of that processing is done in the aql, it is in the intellect. The jazbat, the feelings, emotions are in the heart. Love of Allah Ta'ala, love of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, love of the people of Allah, the awliya of Allah. All of that is in the heart. Nafs is the maqam of shahwat, desires. All the desires are in the nafs. All of these are blessings. Aql is a blessing, the qalb is a blessing, and a nafs is a blessing. Intellect, if we did not have intellect, we would have been mad people, and we would have been doing, crazy things. And also, if we did not have aql, we would not have understood what does Allah Ta'ala want from me? What is Shariat? What is Sunnat? What takes me to Jannat? What can ma'azallah take me to the hellfire? It is all processed in the aql. All what we are doing here in the academy is actually learning ilm through our aql. But at the very same time, we have to have a heart which has feelings. So we also need to have love of Allah Ta'ala in the heart. We also need to have the love of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the love of the people of Allah in the heart. Why? Because maybe we know a thing in our aql, but what forces us to do that thing is the heart. Many of us know a lot of things. Many of us know, or maybe all of us know, that we must get up for tahajjud. And it is a time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the lowest heaven and He calls on people. Hal min sa'ilin fa'a'ti ala. Hal min mustaghfirin. Is there anybody who asks so that he be given? Is there anybody who seeks forgiveness so that he be forgiven? Allah ta'ala calls every single night before Fajr. We all know it, but we are all snoring at that time. Why? Because there isn't any heart. There is no love of Allah which can force us to get up in the early parts of the morning, in the late parts of the night, and can ask Allah Ta'ala for whatever we are in need of. We don't have our heart, no love. Right? So the heart is a blessing as well, where there are feelings that can put us to actions, that can stand upon actions. Stand us up on our actions. That's our problem. But anyway, heart is a blessing which has feelings. Feelings are needed. That's why Academy, we don't only emphasize on learning ilm, but we also emphasize on doing dhikr. Dhikr is the place of dhikr is the heart. Remembrance of Allah Ta'ala is also needed. That's why there's a word in Arabic and also in Urdu, the ta'aleem and tarbiyat. So we try to emphasize on both ta'aleem, learning, and tarbiyat, self-development. This self-development thing, this is what we do here at Monday mornings. It is basically, needed along with our ilm. Otherwise, our ilm will be a waste. In fact, it will be a burden. So ta'aleem and tarbiyat both are needed. So aql, we learned in the classes through aql, but we also need to have the heart. And both of them are needed to control our nafs, which is the third thing, which is also a blessing. We enjoy the life of this dunya because we have a nafs. If there was no nafs, if there were no desires, we would have been, nothing would have, we would have not liked anything. When we enjoy food, the halal food, when we enjoy the halal drinks, when we get married, we have children, we like cleanliness around us. For example, we like to see good sceneries, the waterfalls, the mountains, greenery, flowers, etc. It's because of our nafs. And the nafs has been given so that Allah Ta'ala wants to tell us that there is an enjoyment. You control your enjoyment in this dunya, and you will be given unlimited enjoyment in paradise. So they are blessings. They are all the blessings of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So our job in this dunya is that our aql and our heart should dominate the nafs. Our ilm and our jazbat, our feelings of the love of Allah and His Messenger should dominate the nafs so that it can keep the nafs within the bounds. One of the things in our nafs, one of the desires of our nafs is that we want that everybody talks to me properly, everybody should respect me, everybody should honor me, I have to have a status, people should not look down upon me. Right? This is one of the desires of the nafs. It's not a bad thing. Right? Self-respect is not a bad thing. But it becomes a bad thing when it goes beyond the bounds and it turns into arrogance. That becomes deadly. It becomes deadly because Prophet ﷺ in that hadith, he has said that لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. That he will not enter paradise who has a dharra, who has a particle of kibr in his heart. What is dharra? Dharra is like you take sand, and sand has dharrat. It has particles. And if you try to just take out one particle of sand from these hundreds and millions and trillions of thousands, whatever number, infinity, right? Out of all of these particles of sand particles, if you try to take out one, possibly you will not be able to see it. You will possibly need a microscope or at least a magnifying glass in order to see one dharra, one particle of sand. Prophet ﷺ is saying, even if you have this much arrogance, you will not be able to enter paradise. You cannot. That's why it's so deadly. When this desire of self-respect goes out of the bounds, then it turns into arrogance. It is called kibr. And that is a time when it becomes so deadly that it will not allow us to go into paradise. So we have to keep look at our nafs all the time. This aql and this heart have to work together to keep a very close look at the nafs, that this desire that people talk to me properly, which is okay. Nobody wants that he be called names all the time. Nobody wants that he be, scolded all the time. That's fine, generally. But then we also have to make sure that it is not going beyond the bound of Shariat, and it's not turning into an arrogance, into takabbur, into kibr. They're all synonyms, right? So please, this is very deadly. And our problem is that actually many of us, if not all of us, have gone beyond the limits. And, when we talk about self-respect, when we talk about that people talk to me properly, there is a hidden thing that is there's something hidden in our nafs, which is not only self-respect, but rather that I'm better than others. That's why that person shouldn't be talking to me in this way. It's not only a normal self-respect thing, but rather people have this hidden thing in their heart that I am better than this person. That's why people should talk to me properly. You do your muhasabah and you will find this out. Right? If, for example, same class, there is one 40-year-old and there is one 20-year-old. If this 20-year-old, this 40-year-old wants that this 20-year-old talks to me properly. Why? Because she's half of my age. This is that element. Not only that, everybody has to have respect. Not that element. This element. She's 20 years younger than me. How come she's not talking to me properly? How it come she is not submissive to me? A fourth-year student will possibly not like if a third-year student will not talk to her properly. Because of this, I'm senior. I'm senior in her ilm. I'm senior than her ilm. That's why. Maybe, third year, an Aliyah girl will not like that an Amma girl, the first year girl, will talk if she doesn't talk to her properly. For this reason, I'm in third year, she's in first year. How come she is not talking to me properly? Or forget about talking. Respect, general respect, right? Generally, we teach adab. We teach that if you go into, for example, your cafeteria in the break and you all are, having snacks in the break, right? So adab is that let your senior take first. First, maqam is of the teachers. Teachers should take first. In fact, you should serve your teachers rather than eating and being so heedless and being so mean, right? You should see that if your teacher is sitting, does she have a seat? Does she have snacks? So you give it to her first before you put it in your plate. Right? So this is an adab. But then also respect your elders, respect your seniors, because they're elder to you in ilm, even if they're not elder to you in age. This is the adab that we teach. But then on the other side, first year, they are the first year, right? So everybody is elder to them in ilm, second, third, fourth year, fine. But then when you go to the second year, now, because you have been respecting the second, third, and the fourth year, so everybody who goes to the second or the third or the fourth year, now they want that the first year or the third year will want that the second and the first year will respect them. Why? Because they're elder to them in ilm. This is takabbur. This is kibr. Because you are thinking that you are better than them. Now you have gone beyond the bounds. If the first year, say they should respect the third year and the second and the fourth and the teachers. But if it comes in the hearts of the elders that they should be respected, this is kibr. There should not be any expectations whatsoever. If the other people do it, fine. If they don't do it, fine. Although it is the job of the teachers to teach them that they should do the adab, that they should maintain the adab, that's the job of the teachers. Teachers, that's their responsibility to teach. Right? That's why they are teaching, because they have been given a job to teach. But anybody else who is not a teacher, they don't have a job. They don't have the responsibility of teaching it to the younger ones, to that, you should, by the way, you should do adab. They can teach them the adab of the teachers, not the adab of themselves. And if they are thinking that they have not been shown adab, that means that they have arrogance in their heart, which is deadly. لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. He cannot enter paradise, full stop, who has a particle of kibr in their heart. Can you? Subhanallah is such a dangerous statement. And we have it. Unfortunately, we have it. This is something that's so common in like an academy environment. Right? Ilm. I'm elder, she is junior. Right? Oh, how come did she do that? Because she's in third year, I'm in fourth. She's in second year, I'm in third. She's in first year, I'm in second. Right? If you are thinking like that, that means you have kibr and it's so deadly. Your ilm is not benefiting you. Your madrasa, your academy is not benefiting you. You are running towards fire because of this kibr in your heart. And that is the problem of ilm. One of the side effects of ilm is kibr. You know, when a farmer, he plants the seeds, and his goal is that the plantation will come out, and he will cut the crops and the fruits and the plants and the vegetables, all of that. There are weeds that also come out, right along with it. They are unwanted plants, jari butiyan. They're unwanted plants. So what does the farmer do? He goes and cuts them off. But it is a side effect that weeds do come out. This kibr is the weed of ilm. The arrogance is the weed of ilm. It is an unwanted plant that comes out. It's so natural. Except that we work on our hearts and we keep a very close look on our hearts and make sure that we cut off these weeds before they grow, before they become wild. Please. It is very deadly and very dangerous. Because, subhanAllah, we spend so much time coming to the academy every single day, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever amount of time you come to the academy. You must get up in the morning, travel all the way, stuck in traffic, go back, give sacrifice of your children, husband, houses, homes, make so much mujahada, make so much of an effort, mashallah, which is so good. But now what does shaitan do? What does nafs do? Both of them join together and then kill us with this disease of kibr, this arrogance. And this is so common. There are two big issues with ilm, which are known issues. One is arrogance, and the second is jealousy. They are weeds of ilm. These are the two biggest weeds of ilm. Kibr and jealousy. Hasad. Arrogance and jealousy. So people, I've already mentioned, this is what happens. People want that they be respected. Right? Which is kibr. SubhanAllah. It is deadly. And two, jealousy. People have hasad, which is very, very common as well. Oh, how come did she get more marks than me? Mashallah, second, third, fourth year, I've already experienced that. First year, be ready. Once you will have your midterms, and once you will have your finals, and once somebody will secure more marks, and you have been working harder than that person, see what will shaitan do. If you wrote something in the exam and you did not get the marks the way that you were expecting, let's see what shaitan will do. He will force you to backbite against your own teacher sometimes. Oh, it's not fair. She didn't even read that. It's not right. Subhanallah, yani zulm upon a zulm upon a zulm. A darkness upon darkness upon darkness. First thing, you feel jealous of the others who have secured more marks. Oh, she was, subhanAllah, I don't know where this word has come from, but this is such a bad word. She was a teacher's pet. She was always around the teacher, and that's why she got more marks. Hasad. That's a bad word. Please never use this word in this center, in this academy. Nobody's a teacher's pet. Teachers love everybody. It's only you that if you've been working hard and you have been trying to implement what you've learned, it's very natural that the teacher will love you more than others. But that's your hard work, your ikhlas, your sincerity, your working hard in your ilm, your struggle in trying to implement all what you learned will all automatically make the teacher love you more than others. Allah Ta'ala loves that person more. So why will not the teacher love that person more? Right? If you have been lazy, you have been on the back seat, you have not been implementing what you have been learning, you have been not working hard, you have been sleeping, you have been silent in the class, you never cared about the teachers, of course. Very natural that you will not be, in the eyes of the teacher. You have done harm to your own self. Don't blame others. Don't blame the teacher. First thing first, if you blame the teacher, lack of adab of a teacher, it is enough that every single tawfiq be taken away. I can tell you that. This is enough. That every single tawfiq be taken away from you. But anyway, jealousy. It's not fair. It's not, I don't think this is right. I don't think the system is right. I don't think, this is, why exams? Whoa, I'm just here. And people will fail and they will not be asked to move on. They will ask that they cannot move on. Oh, this is not the goal. Which marks are not the goal, etc., etc. Well, in every system, of course, how can you go forward if you don't understand what have you done, what have you read in the previous years, right? How can you understand the higher books if you have not been able to understand the previous books? And the exams are the criteria of knowing that what have you done, how much have you learned. But this is what happens, jealousy of other people and arrogance. Two deadly diseases. Hasad is also deadly. Why? Prophet ﷺ has said that jealousy eats good deeds like fire eats wood. Jealousy eats good deeds like fire eats wood. So all good deeds are gone. They're burnt with jealousy. And kibr, we all know. لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. A particle of kibr will destroy us. Please work on yourself. Have a very close look and very close watch on your hearts. That if there is any kibr, is there any arrogance in me? And that is related to, I'm talking about ilm. But there are many other aspects when people have arrogance. For example, if Allah Ta'ala has have given you better features than the others, right? You are relatively more beautiful than the others. Now, shaitan, oh, you are more beautiful. So what? Right? Who gave me this beauty? Allah. If Allah Ta'ala chose not to give good features to another person, to another girl, what's her fault? What's her fault? And if you think like that, and you act accordingly, then that's kibr, arrogance. Very common in women. Another issue, wealth. If you have more wealth than others, people think, oh, I'm better. Somehow, I drive a better car. I drive a Land Cruiser. I drive a Lexus. Look at that, she drives a small little car, right? Have arrogance. And people actually, one of the problems in driving these big cars, these expensive cars, is that if you feel on the road, if you have a thought while driving on the road, why is this person not giving me a space? Look at, he's driving a smaller car, I'm driving a bigger car. Oh my God. It becomes the cause of we going into the hellfire. This is what happens when people drive these big cars. It does come in their head. Or look at that. He's bypassing me. Look at the car that he's driving and look at the car that I am driving. The engine of my car is like it's like a 4-liter engine, and look at this like a 1-liter engine, but still bypassing me. If that comes in your head, gone. That's why, I honestly, personally, I don't like these sports cars. For this very reason, people become arrogant just sitting in the car. Just for that very reason. Except that people have so humble hearts that they don't even think anything. It's not haram. But this comes along with that. It's a weed from a sports car. Arrogance. And big cars, arrogance. And expensive cars, arrogance. And expensive bags, arrogance. When you carry that branded bag, it just comes along with it. Illa that you have worked on your hearts and it's nothing that you are thinking. But, mashallah, you carry this branded bag. I don't know the brands, whatever these are. Right? Gucci and patani kya, whatever. Right? SubhanAllah, you carry these bags and now the way that you walk is different. Right? Suddenly, the way that you're walking is different. These rings that people wear, these diamond rings, mashallah. Now the way, the style of talking changes, right? Now there's more hand movements. And people should see, I'm wearing diamond rings. SubhanAllah. And what comes along? Arrogance. Haven't you seen my new diamond ring? She doesn't know how much does it cost actually. But arrogance. People have this feeling of thinking of themselves as better than others. This is what arrogance is defined as. Because of all of these things. Ilm, wealth, rings, cars, bags, hairstyles, more hair, less hair, subhanallah, right? Healthy hair, weak hair, skin, the color of the skin, the features, beauty, etc. But please understand, any arrogance, any type of arrogance, any type, a particle of that, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر, cannot enter paradise. Sorry. The angel will stop. Sorry. No entrance. Right? You had a particle of arrogance. You thought of yourself as better than others. That's why people talk to some other people in a different tone. SubhanAllah, when I go to Pakistan, I get so amazed that there is a person helping you in the house. Is your, servant, your maid, right? He's serving you. You pay him a salary, right? And subhanAllah, people consider them as if they have, as they are a truth, right? As they are a different creator. They will have different set of utensils that they will be, and they will be served food in that. A different glass, you will drink water in a glass made out of glass, and he will drink water in a glass made out of steel maybe, or aluminium. They will have different set of plates. As if they eat in your place, you will be diseased. You will get some sort of a disease. Right? That's what people act like. SubhanAllah. Kibr. Arrogance. Prophet ﷺ is saying you serve them about slaves, not servants. They're salaried employees. The servants are salaried employees. They're not slaves. But people act with them worse than the slaves. Prophet ﷺ is saying, you act with your slaves, you feed them what you eat. You give them drink what you drink. You give them clothes to wear what you wear. It's about slaves. Here are salaried employees. The servants and the maids. And people act with them as if they are worse than slaves, as if they're animals. Kibr, arrogance, the way that you talk to them. Right? Allahu Akbar. How can anybody enter paradise? How can people enter paradise? Please develop that humility in your heart. And subhanAllah, when people develop humility in their heart, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them honor and respect. Allah ta'ala will automatically raise your status. If you take yourself down, Allah ta'ala will take you up. And that's true respect. And that's true raising of the status. It's not that you force your status, force to raise your status. You take yourself down, you take yourself as lower than the others, then Allah Ta'ala will take you up. And Allah Ta'ala will put your respect in the hearts of the others. Allah Ta'ala will put your love in the hearts of the others. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will raise your status. Leave it to Allah. But for that, you have to take yourself down. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in this hadith that we did in Zawd al-Talibin as well, Man tawada'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allahu wa man takabbara wada'ahu Allahu. Whoever tawada'a lillah, whoever humbles himself down for the sake of Allah, rafa'ahu Allah, then Allah Ta'ala will raise him up. Then Allah Ta'ala will raise him up. But if the opposite is there, whoever has takabbur, wa man takabbara, whoever has arrogance, then wada'ahu Allah, Allah Ta'ala will humiliate him. Then Allah will humiliate him. Not only that, he will not be able to enter into paradise, that's akhirat. In dunya, Allah will humiliate him. But if you humble yourself down, Allah Ta'ala will raise you up then. So this is what our job is. To lower ourselves down. To think of ourselves as worse than others. Not only better than others, but rather worse than others. Exactly the opposite. She is better than me. She is better than me. She is 20 years younger than me. She is 20, I'm 40. She has less sins than what I have done in my life. She's better. She's better. She is in the first year, I'm in the third. Right? She is better. Why? Because the responsibilities that I have by learning this ilm in 3 years, she has lesser responsibilities. If I don't act on my ilm, I will be held responsible for that, and she will not be held that much responsible. She's better. She's better. I know so much now. I mean, it has all become easy for me now, relatively speaking, because I have been learning. She is trying. She is still struggling. She is making more effort, and her efforts are rewarded more, appreciated more by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala as compared to me. She is better. We should think ourselves as lower than the others. I've graduated, I've become a teacher, and she is the talib of ilm. Talib of ilm has more virtue than a teacher. Sometimes. It depends. Right? Depends. The muallim has their own virtue, but the talib of ilm, the student of knowledge, has his own virtue. Right? So she's a student of knowledge, I'm teaching. She's better. And by the way, everybody should always consider themselves as students until their death. We can never become alimas. Because this title of alima, ustaza, blah, 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 it also puts that arrogance in people's hearts. Never think of yourself as an alima or a graduate or whatever. You are a student of knowledge. And we have to keep ourselves as students of knowledge until our death, until we go into the graves. Why? So that we can get the virtue of the students of being a student of knowledge, where the angels spread their wings under their feet. Man kharaja fi talab al-ilmi fahuwa fi sabilillahi hatta yarji'. Whoever gets out of their house in order to seek knowledge, he is in the path of Allah until he returns. To get that virtue of being the student, we have to consider ourselves as a student until our death. We can never become alimas. We can never become anything. Right? Because one, we don't miss out on the virtue of being the student. Two, so that it doesn't bring that arrogance in my heart. Oh, I'm an alima and she is a student. So please, we have to work on ourselves. Humble yourself down. Think of yourself as lower than the others. Our mashayikh have actually said that think of yourself as low than a sinner and a kafir and an animal. Allahu Akbar. Why? Because a sinner, if he does tawbah from his sins, Allah Ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ يُبَدِّلُ اللَّهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِمْ حَسَنَاتٍ. Allah Ta'ala will convert their bad deeds into good deeds. Allah Ta'ala will change their bad deeds into good deeds if they do tawbah. Yani, for example, I have 100 good deeds and she has 1,000 bad deeds. If she does tawbah, her 1,000 bad deeds will be changed into 1,000 good deeds. I have only 100. She's better. It's a possibility. It's not that you start loving sins. We hate sins. We hate backbiting. We hate that people are not praying. We hate that people are engaging to zina. We hate that people are not covering up. We hate these sins. We have to. Otherwise our iman is not complete. But this person who is sinning right now has the possibility of becoming better than me. That's why we must not think of ourselves as better than that person. If she does tawbah, all of her bad deeds will be turned into good deeds. She'll become better. Right? You should not think of yourself as better than sinners. You should not think of yourselves as better than kafir. With the possibility that if he accepts Islam today, he will be reset. All of his bad deeds will be gone. I have been living as a Muslim for the last 30 years. And I've been sinning since I've become a baligha. Right? For last, 17, 20, 30 years I've been sinning. This person has accepted Islam, starting fresh, no sins. Who is better? If there's a person, even animals. Why? Shaykh say that animals are better. Think of animals as better than yourself. To humiliate, to humble yourself down. Why on the day of judgment? Allah Ta'ala says that the animals, everything, all the makhluk will be raised. Even the animals will be raised. And if an animal has oppressed an other, the one who was oppressed will take revenge from the one who has oppressed him. And then after this thing will take place, right? The oppressed, the one who was oppressed will take revenge, then both of them will be changed into dust. And when a person who will be destined to go into the fire will see that these animals have been changed into dust, they are not going into the fire, what will he say? وَيَقُولُ الْكَافِرُ يَا لَيْتَنِي كُنْتُ تُرَابًا. I wish I was dust as well. And this Ya laytani, it's a wish that can never come true. وَيَقُولُ الْكَافِرُ يَا لَيْتَنِي كُنْتُ تُرَابًا. I wish I was dust as well. I wish I would have been changed into dust as well today. But my destiny is ma'azallah, hellfire. Right? So think of animals as better than you. And subhanAllah, look at animals. A dog. A dog is so loyal to his master. Dog is generally, we as Muslims are not allowed to keep dogs within the premises of the house. Right? So if a dog is allowed to keep a dog is allowed as a guard outside the premises of the house. Right? So a dog, people who have dogs as their guards outside the premises is jaiz. It's permissible. As a guard, with the niyat of a guard. Now it's a dog sitting outside. Be it winters, be it summers. It's hot, it's cold. It's freezing night or it's burning day. Right? Dog is outside. Does it complain? Never complains. It's there guarding. So loyal. Any stranger tries to come in, he will bark at you. That stranger would even attack if the dog feels that he's going to harm my master. So loyal to his master. Doesn't complain, oh my master, you keep me outside in such a cold night. You kept me outside in such a burning day. I'm not doing anything now. I'm not guarding anymore. I'm not going to save you anymore. Doesn't say that. Always will do what he's supposed to do. And here are we complaining all the time. So anything goes wrong, there are people, things go wrong and they start complaining. I'm not praying. Why? Because Allah Ta'ala did this to me. Allahu Akbar. People are like that. People stop praying. You see somebody is not coming to the masjid anymore. You see somebody is not coming to the gathering anymore. You ask them, like when you see them 3 months later, where have you been? Oh, things weren't going right. That's why I was not there. I was not coming. Allahu Akbar, you should have come more, my friend. You should have come more in the gathering of zikr. You should have come more in the masjid. You should have engaged more with Allah Ta'ala. You should have connected more with Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. Exactly the opposite happens. People run away from Allah. Why? He didn't do good to me. What loyalty? Who is better? Dog is better. Isn't it? It is many times the dog, the way that the master, he will just throw a piece of meat or throw a piece of bread, whatever dogs eat. Right? He will just go and he'll throw it. And the dog will just eat that. Doesn't say, why didn't you respect me? Why didn't you honor me? Why didn't you put it on the dastarkhan? And why didn't you serve me in the best plates? Will eat. And will, come after the master, waving his tail, start licking the master's foot. So he's feels so obliged, feels so grateful that my master has served me food. Irrespective of how he has served me food, he has served me food. Here are we, a little bit of more salt, more spices, less spices, cold food, hot food, start complaining. Subhanallah. We'll change our moods. Why isn't that served? Complains. Where is the loyalty to Allah? Where is that feeling Allah gave me? Food. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah alladhi razaqtani min ghayri hawlin minni wala quwwa. I didn't do anything. Despite of that, Allah Ta'ala gave me food. He gave me rizq. Who is better? Dog is better. And maybe that the master forgets giving him food. He was very tired, came back, and he slept. Didn't even think about the dog. Do you think dog will run away? Never. Still will guard. Sometimes his friend comes in and he's barking at the friend, and the master becomes angry. Why are you barking at his friend of mine? And he's coming, and the master will take a stick and will run him away, right? And the dog will run away, after if he's hit by a stick, and go in a corner, sit in a corner, not run away, number one. And number two, will still guard. And sometimes Allah Ta'ala also, because of our own negligence, our own sins, Allah Ta'ala may hit us with, like sort of a stick. Because of our own negligence. And may put us in a calamity, may test us, right? SubhanAllah, we run away from Allah. Who is better? The dog is better. This is our reality. Allah Ta'ala has kept us in blessings after blessings after blessings, and we have become arrogant. Only it has increased in our arrogance. Ilm is a blessing. Allah gave us tawfiq to come and sit here. We were never worthy of coming and sitting and learning ilm, learning Qala Allah wa Qala Rasul. Reflect on your past. And subhanallah, Alamiya girls, every single day, Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Are we worthy of doing that? This sinful tongue through which we have done so many sins, is it worthy of even saying this? قال حدثنا فلان قال حدثنا فلان. Am I worthy of teaching it? It's favor of Allah. It's a blessing of Allah Ta'ala that He has allowed us to come and sit, just sit in the gathering of ilm, in the gathering of zikr, amongst the people of Allah, your teachers. It's enough it's enough of a favor. It's like, subhanAllah, just that we are sitting here and we are becoming arrogant as a result. I should be respected. Why didn't she talk to me in such a way? Why did she say so? And we become arrogant. We're becoming the people of arrogance, going back home and showing arrogance to our husbands. You don't know, I know. Shame on you. Be humble. Telling it to friends and families, you don't know, I know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Somebody asked, one of the teachers came to me that one of the students is asking, can we give wasta of our good actions because of that hadith? That there were 3 people who were stuck in the cave and they gave the wasta of their actions and the cave opened. Can we give wasta of our good actions? My response was, which good actions? I cannot give wasta of any of my actions. Which action? Which action is worthy that I can give wasta of? I am zero, honestly, without mubalagha, without exaggeration. I don't have the himmat of asking Allah, Ya Allah, because of that action that I did, Ya Allah, solve this on my issue. I don't have this himmat. Which action? So please humble yourself. And then, if you do that, Allah will raise you up. Man tawada'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah. Wa man takabbara wada'ahu Allah. Remember that. If you humble yourself for the sake of Allah, Allah will raise your status. And if you have any sort of arrogance, Allah Ta'ala will humiliate you in dunya. And in the akhirat, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. Please. SubhanAllah. When Sahaba, they humble themselves down, Allah Ta'ala raised their status. We all call every single Sahabi radiyallahu anhu. Right? SubhanAllah. It is bad adab if we don't say radiyallahu anhu after the name of a Sahabi. And B, they were all sorts. They were all sorts. They were laborers. They were rich people. They were simple people. They were, all sorts of people like we are. There was a sweeper in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, a black woman, sweeping the floor, right? A black woman, a Habshi woman, sweeping the floor. She is radiyallahu anha. Once she wasn't there, she used to sweep the floor of the masjid. A black woman, not very high nasab, not very high lineage, a simple job of cleaning the floor, sweeping the floor, right? Not a very handsome woman, possibly. And once she wasn't there, Prophet ﷺ noticed. He noticed. Where is she? I can't see her. The Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, she passed away. We buried her. Prophet ﷺ said, why didn't you tell me? So that I could have come and have read her janazah. Ya Rasulullah, we thought she's a simple woman. She is like a normal woman, a sweeper. A black sweeper woman. We thought we didn't think about that we should have informed you. She wasn't a person of very high status. He said, no, you should have. Nobody was simple anymore. Because they all humbled themselves down for Allah. Allah Ta'ala raised every single one of them. Be it Bilal, a Habshi Ghulam, and a Ethiopian slave. Not a very handsome man. Not a very handsome man. But he humbled himself down for Allah. Allah raised him up. Prophet ﷺ went on Miraj. He was taken into paradise. He heard the footsteps in paradise. Asked Jibreel alayhi salam, who is he? Whose footsteps are these? He said, Bilal's. He walks on the earth, we hear him in paradise. مَنْ تَوَاضَعَ لِلَّهِ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ. Who humbles himself down, Allah Ta'ala will then raise his status. It doesn't have to be a wealthy, beautiful person carrying branded bags and driving expensive cars and wearing diamond rings. It doesn't have to be that. And it can be that as well. It can be that person as well. He is Sayyidina Usman, radiallahu anhu, a wealthy man, very wealthy man. But he was humble man. Dhul Nurayn. 2 daughters were married to him of the Prophet ﷺ. And when the second daughter passed away, Prophet ﷺ said, if I had another one, I would have given her in the marriage of Usman. They were rich and they were poor, they were simple and they were all sorts. But all of them were humble. On the day of Fatah of Makkah, subhanallah, when the honor was to be given as to who will clean the idols from Kaaba, it was not any rich, any person of outward status who Prophet chose to take with him inside the Kaaba. Bilal, where is Bilal? Let's come. You were the one who used to call Ahad, Ahad, Ahad when you were oppressed. Today is the time that you can actually show it practically. Let's clean the idols. And then after it was done, Prophet ﷺ actually asked him, Bilal, go on the top of Kaaba. Stand on my shoulders and climb the Kaaba. And he got, Ya Rasulullah, how can I do that? It's absolute breach of adab. He said, no, stand on my shoulders. He was telling the whole world, all the people who were hundreds, thousands of people who were standing, telling that, it's not about a Habshi ghulam. It's about humility. Whoever humbles himself down, Allah will raise him up. Go, and people saw Bilal climbing the Kaaba, going on the top of the Kaaba and calling azan, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Man tawada'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah. That's true status. That's status. Our status of 3rd year, 4th year, 2nd year, ilm, madrasa, cars, bags, rings, is not status. It's fake. And if it is tied with arrogance, then Allah Ta'ala will humiliate these people in dunya and in akhirat. La yadkhulul jannah. Wal-iyāzu billah. Please develop your hearts. Be good with people. Everybody lowers yourself. Think of others as better than yourself. Please serve everybody. Serve everybody, whoever that person is. Khidmat helps people in developing that humility. Please do khidmat of everybody, of your teachers, of your juniors.